Hello everybody and welcome to episode 2 of Domain TV. So, firstly, for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, we are starting to share weekly live videos and they're going to be called Domain TV episodes every Friday at 10 a.m. UK time. And these are designed to delve deeper into Domain, bring you some new insight and knowledge each week, and also just to update you as to what's going on in the Domain community and the Sarah Morgan Global community. For those of you that are new to this page, a huge welcome. Sarah Morgan Global is the home of Domain Energetics, and there's lots of content that we're sharing here almost daily now to sort of help piece everything together for you. But Domain Energetics are here to bring incredible new possibilities and solutions to our earth. And so one of the best ways you can get started is by getting the Domain Energetics book, which is available on Amazon worldwide now, and I also saw it's on Waterstones online. And you can also find out more about this book at the Sarah Morgan Global website. But these Domain TV episodes, we're going to be compiling them and putting them all together on the Sarah Morgan Global website so that in years to come, we can look back and see how far we've come. And there'll always be content for you guys to have a look over and watch back as well. So as part of episode 2, we've got some really exciting things to talk about. First of all, we're going to be sharing a domain evidence spotlight. So we're going to be talking about evidence that has been experienced from using Domain Energetics within the last week. And we're going to keep doing that because we are wanting to showcase the results that Domain Energetics can bring, and also our energies as more and more of us are working with Domain Energetics are expanding week on week. So we're able to do more and more and more. So we're always going to be showcasing and sharing what is happening. And then our domain hone-in this week, we're going to be focusing in on energy sequences and explaining those in a way that feels beautiful, because I know when I first heard the term energy sequences, for me personally, I was a bit like, that sounds quite technical, and I'm all about just helping you guys and myself to use these energetic sequences, but without getting bogged down in the complexities, because you literally don't need to. Energy is very easy to work with and very, very powerful. And as a part of that, we're also going to be introducing you to Plethora Energy. And we're going to be showing you a diagram that I first drew around this back on the 20th of September 2020 when I was first starting to receive whispers around Domain, this incredible energy holding that's located beyond our multiverses. And we're also going to be talking about galaxy energy, as you'll be able to see on this diagram, and meta energy as well. And Domain basically helps us to access energies beyond our universe and even beyond our multiverse. And so it's incredible. And so if you can just imagine the power of what energy can do when we're really working with it in a high vibration, awakened and evolved way. And now if we're able to start accessing incredible new energies that can help us on Earth, it's literally opening up our horizons. So it's very exciting. So I'm just going to quickly just check that the sound's all coming through correctly. Bear with me. I believe it is, but I'm just going to hit this quickly just to check. Bear with me. Yes, it is. Perfect. So hello, whoever is watching. I can see that there's someone watching. So hello. Right, so let's get started. So evidence spotlight this week. What has happened in the last week? And this week, I'm just sharing my own experiences. In future episodes, we might be sharing experiences from the broader Domain community. So we've got our incredible Domain leaders who have spent the first 12 months over the last year or so with me exploring and discovering Domain and really energizing it. But also we're now offering new programs through the Pioneering School of Domain Energetics. Hi Karishma darling. Mwah. And so as more and more people are working with Domain and sharing their evidence and stories, we'll be sharing new evidence as well. But for now, this is just my own personal experience this week. So I've got two things I just kind of want to document here in these Domain TV episodes, which are acting a little bit like Domain diaries as well, and obviously to share with you. So one of them is around healing. Now, Domain works with energy sequences, which we'll be telling you a little bit more about in a moment. And energy sequences underpin every single thing that there is. And we're being asked just to explain this again in case there's new people watching this video that haven't heard anything about energy sequences in the past. So nothing would exist without energy sequences. So if you look at everything in my office as an example, including the air that you can't physically see, none of that would exist, including oxygen that I'm breathing. None of it would exist without energy sequences. Nothing would be without energy sequences underpinning them. And Domain stores all energy sequences across our multiverses. So no longer are we sort of confined just to Earth in terms of the energy sequences and possibilities and solutions we can find. We can now go multiversal, and this is really exciting. And so by recreating energy sequences that we might find somewhere else, potentially on another planet, or even somewhere on Earth that we can't physically access, or even backwards in time, somewhere on our Earth or beyond, we're able to recreate those sequences here now to create new possibilities. And so it can be used to create anything. Domain can be used for anything. And this is what's so flipping exciting, because there's no longer any kind of glass ceiling, and we know that we've been expanding our human potential through, you know, if you look back at human evolution and all that kind of stuff, we've been expanding and expanding. But especially in the last century or so, it's been very kind of physical human, and not so much the energetic side. And we know that there are ancient civilizations, for example, that use energy much more. And so what's happening now is energy is coming back around, and it's becoming much more equal weighted. So all the physical excelling that we've been doing are now bringing back the energetic as well. And so you can use Domain to literally create anything. And if we think about where we may have been feeling potentially, we know there's more, but we can't quite get to it, Domain opens this up for us now. And so one way that Domain is incredible is for helping with physical form, whether, as I've written about in this book, whether it's about kind of changing your aesthetics and your shape, potentially your tone as an example, or whether you're wanting to kind of increase muscle mass, that kind of thing, it can be used to help with that. But also it can be used to help ailments. So it's actually very powerful in terms of healing. And it's not just energy sequences that we can take from other places to help with healing. That's one big part of it, and I'm going to share an example with you in a moment. But also through Plethora Energy, we can draw energy into Earth. And through Plethora Energy, meta energy is one of those new energies that's been introduced, which we'll be talking about in a moment as well. So just enjoy this. And even if we're saying lots of new words, just really relax and get comfortable, because your energy will understand what we're talking about, even if consciously your mind might be a bit like, oh, what actually is that? So one example this week, I was using Domain to help someone that has heart issues. They didn't actually know I was using it. They're very, very close to me, and I've wanted to do it for a while, but because there's been so much going on with getting the book over the line and getting the School of Domain Energetics set up, I hadn't had a chance to get to it. Whereas on Tuesday, I sat down with Domain and I was like, right, what can you flow me to help this person? And I had this person's permission, okay? So when we're working with energetics, you can only do it if you have permission. Even if the person's really poorly, you can always check in with their higher self, and you'll feel whether it's a yes or a no from their energy in terms of wanting help. But I knew this person did. So I tuned in, and it was fascinating what I saw. And as an example of how energy and our energies are always expanding, and how we can always learn new from Domain, it's never ever going to run out. So we're never going to get bored of Domain, which is freaking delicious. It's here for millennia to come, and we're energizing it and building the foundations of it now, including you precious souls that are watching this. So what I was initially shown was going back through this soul, and they're trillions of years old, this soul, going back to kind of before their soul was created. And I've never been shown anything like that with Domain before, so this was new for me. So Domain works for past, present and future, and it was taking me back. And I was almost feeling, because this is the thing, everyone receives differently. For me, I'm very feeling led and knowing led, and I receive images in my mind's eye. Some people hear, and everyone receives in a different way. And that's something we're really passionate about helping people with. And we talk about that in the Domain Energetics book. And we also talk about it and focus on it a lot through the School of Domain Energetics, just to help everyone feel comfortable with their own ways of receiving. So I was being shown this, and I was sort of feeling that actually there was something that was going to slightly change just before their soul creation, that I could then run forward in time as well. So Domain was doing this for me. I was just seeing and feeling what was going on. So again, you don't have to sit here and figure stuff out. You just let Domain flow the insight to you. Then I was shown something else that was multiversal, almost like a hole, somewhere out in space, almost like a hole in time. It's really interesting. And again, I didn't get bogged down with the details because I don't need to. I mean, if we think about when we're being shown stuff around the multiverse, goodness knows what we're going to be shown. It's infinite, okay? There's endless stuff out there. So I didn't sit there and pick that apart, but I was seeing kind of the red energy of it, and I was letting that flow. And then what was really powerful, I was taken to a moon connected to a different universe, not the Earth universe. And the surface of it was kind of like hard soil, like almost like concrete soil. That would be the best way I can explain it. This is what I love about Domain, because when it's showing you things, and Myriad that we spoke about last week, energy is helping us to see it because we're transversing Myriad, which naturally happens when you work with domains. If you want to learn more about Myriad, you can watch episode 1 from last week, which is at sarahmorganglobal.com/domain-tv. We'll post the link below afterwards. But I was showing this moon surface, like kind of concretey soil. I could almost like feel the texture of it in my mouth. This is how vivid it is when you work with Domain energy, and Myriad's helping as well. And I was feeling Domain taking the sequencing of that and flowing it to this person's heart. And this was going on for about half an hour. And I could feel the bigness of the energy of it. And I can handle big energies now, as indeed many of you can. So it was a lot of energy, and I was being held there and held there and held there. And I was just letting this occur, letting the sequencing flow. And I was literally holding it for about half an hour. And I also received salt, again from another planet, so not on Earth, salt that doesn't dissolve in water. How fascinating. Now, I could have asked what planets these were coming from, but as again, there's endless planets out there, I was like, I just want to focus on just letting Domain draw in the sequencing that's needed for this person's heart. And so that salt was being shared as well. It's just fascinating. What was really interesting was, I didn't tell this person until Wednesday. So I did this for them on the Tuesday. And on the Wednesday evening, and I'd done it on the Tuesday lunchtime, I was like, oh, by the way, I meant to tell you, I actually used Domain to do some healing on your heart today. And their immediate response, and this is someone who doesn't even look at what I do. They haven't read my book. They haven't looked at my website. They're so loving, but they're not kind of proactively interested in what I'm doing, but they do have an open energy. That's why I was able to do the healing. And when I told them, their first reaction was, oh my gosh, was that why I was so exhausted on Tuesday? And then I remembered, because I'd seen them on Tuesday, they were, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that will be why. Because often when we receive really big healing energy, especially energies beyond our earth, our energies can feel them because they're so powerful. And it was incredible how their instinct knew that was why they had been so tired. And for me, it was evidence of the strength and potency of that healing, which would not have occurred without working with Domain. And this is the thing that's incredible. And this is why we say Domain is for all. So this is the first thing. This is why we've written the book, and we're talking about Domain through social media, including here on Domain TV. It was just incredible evidence of the power of what I had done, and it was just about half an hour or so. I could feel the energy of it, but the fact that they could feel it, and they don't even understand energy consciously in the way that I do, I was mind blown. So I will be continuing to do work with them. Now, just to kind of say as well, I'm not a medical practitioner, so this person is still absolutely taking the medication that they should be, of course, but why not use energetics to help? I'm getting lots of goosebumps, potentially to help speed up the healing, potentially to be able to go beyond what the medication can do, because the medication, if you think about it, is taking properties from Earth. We're taking energetics from beyond Earth. So it's really fascinating. So of course, this person, is absolutely taking their medication. That is absolutely the right thing for them still to do. But to be able to bring Domain energetics into it and to get that feedback completely unexpectedly, I was like, wowzers, that is evidence. And we shared last week about how one of the domain leaders, Emily, had really resolved really intense pain that over the years can only be resolved through going to a chiropractor, and it's just gone and it hasn't come back since, because I saw her yesterday in person. So what domain can do in terms of energy for healing is mind-blowing. And remember, we're just getting started. Like, we've only been energizing it for like 12 months, and this book's only been out 2.5 weeks. So this is just the start. And given that domain is going to be here for millennia to come, it's going to become a go-to in terms of humans and their new potential and reaching new potential and possibilities all the time. This is incredibly exciting. So I'm just going to see what lovely Karishma's saying. It's working on my spine and all. Connections amazing. Neck, shoulders, lower back and upper legs. Fascinating. Awesome, Karishma. I know you were getting stuff when you watched this Domain TV, or the other Domain, the first Domain TV episode last week, and you didn't actually know what was going on, and we haven't actually had a chance to receive on it to let you know, but we will do if you want to remind us. Because I'm being told I'm not going to be giving it now just because I'm focusing on the Domain TV live, but do remind us if you want us to receive that for you, and we'll let you know. But incredible that you're feeling that. This is the power, and Karishma is someone that's very energetically expanded. So awesome that you're feeling that, darling. So love that you are. So that's one piece of phenomenal evidence. You know, when I'm going to be talking about meta energy shortly, meta energy I've received is like miracle energy. I keep getting the words miracle energy. So I'm going to be talking to you about meta energy shortly, because again, this is a new energy on Earth because of domain. So that's one piece of evidence of the evidence spotlight. The second piece of evidence is around money creation. So when I first started learning about domain back in 2020, and I didn't do anything with it until this time last year, okay, so I was kind of receiving bits around it, but to be quite honest, I was quite overwhelmed. I was like, this is just too big to introduce to the world. I'm not sure I'm ready to do this. So I had to be ready to start really talking about it in a confident way. But I remember really early on saying, can I use it for money? And I was told you can use it to create anything. So the thing is with domain, when you're working with it, it has to be your truth. You have to go to domain, and we're saying this because we want to help you guys get the most maximum results from it. And again, this book talks you through how to do it. There's exercises in the back. There's a domain diaries section in the back for you to record all of your early interactions with domain as well. You can get this on Amazon. Yeah, so basically you can use it to create anything, but it has to be your truth. And so I've been exploring domain with money creation on and off for a little while, but it's never really been my truth. There's more truthful things that I've wanted to use it for. And again, I've written lots of examples in the book, so the book's a really good thing for you guys to read. But this week I was like, do you know what? I'm really going to try it. I want to create, which is different from manifestation. Creating with energy sequences with domain is different to manifestation. We're creating new. Whether it's energy sequences from elsewhere beyond our Earth or within our Earth that we can't reach, or backwards in time. So I was like, right, I'm really going to use it. I'm going to test this. I really want £50 before Thursday, and I'm just going to test it. And although I'm just testing it, I can feel I actually have truth behind me in it. And so I connected to domain, as the book shows you how to do, and as we'll teach you in the School of Domain Energetics and the Domain Immersion Live Experience. For those of you that are joining us, it starts 2 weeks today. We'll be talking about that in a bit as well. So I connected to domain. I was like, right, what can you flow me? I want to manifest, not manifest. I'm literally, that's really interesting. I was being guided that word. God's here just saying, I've been told to say that, specifically to highlight how it's not manifesting, because that's not actually what I asked domain. So he's highlighting that when you go to domain, you're not going to domain saying, I want to manifest. You're kind of moving beyond that. You're going to domain saying, I want to create. How are you going to help me to create? So I went to, it's really interesting. I went to domain and said, right, I want £50 by Thursday. Show me whatever it is that you want to show me. So I had that very open energy. I didn't steer it. And I started being shown, it was really beautiful, and it's not rocket science, but I was really shown it in a way that felt truthful. How, like money, we know it's an energy, but it's so virtual now. If I think about how I receive money into my bank account, it's all online. And then when I'm paying for stuff, it's online. It's so virtual. It's not as physical as it used to be because it's evolving. The energy of it is evolving. So I was really kind of shown how it is so kind of virtual. Very, very interesting. I was given the feelings of it. I was like, this is really, really, really fascinating. And I stayed with it and I was like, right, what else do you want to show me? And then it was showing me the feeling of a £1 coin. So a British £1 coin, they're gold for those that don't know, kind of how that would feel in the palm of your hand. But it's not really how it was feeling in my hand. It's more like, because when Domain and Myriad work with you, it's so vivid what you experience. It's like you can almost eat it, even if it's money or concrete soil on a moon in another universe. The texture is so strong. So I could really kind of feel and almost eat this £1 coin. I was like, this is really, really, really interesting. So I didn't receive much more. I felt that I'd got everything that I needed, but I knew the physical things also needed to occur. So this is the thing, we still need to do the physical human things, as I've written about in the book. So lots of time to share examples about this through the future episodes that we're sharing here, but also there's tons of examples in the book as well. But I knew something would occur virtually, and this is what is so interesting. And so someone that actually owed me some money was then able to give that to me, and it was £50, and it's virtual, so from one bank account to another. And it was really, really, really interesting. And so because Domain and Myriad Energy that supports it works so much with magic, you don't need to kind of understand how it works. You just need, and this is beautiful, because if you were trying to understand how it works, I think you could risk getting so bogged down in it, because Domain is so sophisticated, it could like blow your mind. Actually, how I teach and want to share Domain is just to make it very, very usable. And so in that first experience of using Domain really strongly, intentionally with money, and there was a deadline and it was a specific amount that my energy felt true around, it occurred. But the physical steps needed to occur as well, which was the liaison with this person. And I hadn't even thought about this person owing me this money when I was receiving the sequencing. And even though they owed it to me, I had no kind of deadline or aspirations of when they would give it to me. I had just let it go fully, because I was just like, well, it would just, you know, it's fine. They need it, it's fine. So it was very, very, very interesting, but it was so in keeping with the sequencing that I was being shown around the kind of like the virtualness of it, and then the crispness of that kind of pound coin was really interesting as well. And I'm just being shown that's because it was very clearly like a set amount of pounds that I wanted. And actually that makes so much sense now. I'm receiving it now, because I'm learning about Domain all of the time still, and that's why I'm sharing these episodes, so we have like a backlog of, or a back library of Domain diaries when we watch these further down the line as well. And that would be correct because it was pounds. Okay, that makes so much sense. Okay, so really, really, really fascinating. So again, when you're going to Domain, for those of you that are starting to use it, and the best way to get started is either this book, because it's loaded with energetics to help you, to really help you get going, or of course through any programs through the School of Domain Energetics, because again, we're really loading up the energetics there to help you shave years off of your own journey and development with Domain as well. But whenever you're going to Domain, go with strong intent. This is what myself and the Domain leaders always did over the previous 12 months. Strong intent, strong love, and stay with it no matter what it's showing you, and believe. And all you need for Domain is hope, love and belief. This is what we always say. And then the physical evidence will come. And nothing would exist physically without non-physical energy sequences. The non-physical energy sequences have to be there first, but the physical results follow. So really, really, really fascinating. So just wanted to share, and they're just my experience this week. This isn't from other Domain leaders, or potentially others of you that are reading the book and practicing using it. So this is just me. So again, over the coming episodes, we'll share more and more evidence, and feel free to share on this page if you want to, if you can. I'm not sure whether you can actually, but I'll check. Or inbox me, or share, you know, you can comment under any content here for any evidence that you're experiencing as well, because we need to show this and showcase it to the world. Krishma's saying, oh, I'm being flowed something around your money example, but to do with love. Awesome. So again, you can just, in the way that you receive, darling, sit down with Domain and see what it wants to flow you. But again, really beautiful, because as we've said, anyone that's interacting with Domain Energetics, whether it's through myself at Sarah Morgan Global, or indeed any of the other Domain leaders, or indeed anyone else that's working with Domain moving forwards, they're going to be feeling, even if it's at an unconscious level, so not necessarily consciously feeling, but their energy will be being expanded and energized. So that's the case through the book, through the school, through any social media content, through the emails that we send out on a Monday as well. And if you aren't already on our email list, you can sign up to that on the Sarah Morgan Global website as well. So your energy will be really ripe when you're interacting with any content that we're sharing, and to help you receive from Domain as well. So thank you for sharing that. Really, really beautiful, Krishma. So that's this week's evidence spotlight. Moving on to this week's Domain hone-in. I feel like a newsreader. Like I said this last week, I've got notes. So energy sequencing. So we've introduced you briefly to energy sequencing, but people receive energy sequencing in different ways. And we know this because we've been researching and using Domain behind the scenes over the last 12 months before the book was released 2.5 weeks ago. Now, when I receive energy sequences, because I remember when I first started receiving around Domain in 2020, I was like, I don't even know what to do with energy sequences. This is like literally not working. It's like blowing my mind. And I remember being told, you just need to feel them. And I just didn't get it. I was totally overthinking it. And then my first real proof experience, which I think I spoke about on last week's Domain TV episode, and I definitely speak about it in the book, was when I used Domain to stop a bruise coming out on my shin. Yes, I did talk about it last week. And in that moment, I felt the sequencing. I just felt like Domain and Myriad show me where the sequencing is being taken from, which was another planet. I felt Domain then bring it onto my body and onto my shin and like hold it there. And I felt Domain do all of that. So it is very much, for a lot of you, it will be like feelings. But I know some of the other Domain leaders, for example, they would get names for their sequences. They would kind of get names for them. So as an example, for my shin, I didn't get a name for it because I felt, but I could have got a name like Rapid Healing or something. So some people get names as well. And some people... also, what am I being guided to say here? I can feel kind of God's coming in trying to say. Some people hear as well. So everyone receives Domain differently, but some people feel the sequences, some people kind of hear them, some people kind of see them in their mind's eye, and some people hear them as well. So God's just wanted me to explain this because everyone works with Domain but receives it in their own way, and therefore the experiences can be a bit different, but we're kind of equipped to help you no matter how you receive. But the thing is, don't get too bogged down. Just let Domain do the work. If you're in the really awesome energy with Domain and you're like the perfect energy, you're very aligned, you're in a peaceful place, but you're alert, you're not falling asleep and feeling tired, because I've done that a few times, trying to connect in feeling tired, it does not work. Do it when you've got some oomph behind you. When you're in that place, you will literally feel Domain and Myriad take you to where the sequencing is so you can understand it, and then literally you'll kind of experience your energy or sense your energy, however in which way you receive, take that sequencing and apply it to where it needs to go. It's so magical. And some people, when they're getting sequencing, aren't that fussed with the source of it, which is fine as well, but they're just taking the sequencing. I always like to have a rough idea or a rough indication at a very high level of where that sequencing is coming from, because I just think it's flipping wondrous. It's like, oh my God, like this is like a different planet, somewhere else in our universe or another universe or another multiverse. Like, I just think it's fascinating. But again, you can work with Domain in a way that feels good to you. So energy sequencing is very smart. Domain does the legwork for you, which is beautiful, because we're busy being physical humans living our lives. We don't want to have to write down really long sequences, because I remember speaking to someone once about energy sequences, and they had a sense, like I used to when I got overwhelmed, that you had to write them all out. No, that would take ages. That would be high maintenance to the max. Like, that is not not like the easy way to say. You don't have to write anything down. Your energy and Domain will literally collect the sequencing, and you'll feel your energy or sense your energy, put it to where it needs to go. So it's really, really, really beautiful. So that's giving you a bit more insight around how energy sequences can be collated from Domain. But the other really interesting thing, and I was guided to print out a little drawing that I did back in 2020, is that I remember really early on, and I haven't actually spoken about this in the book because I wasn't guided to, but I'm guided to share it here. So again, like, these Domain TV episodes are going to bring you new things as well. I remember receiving that Domain is like plethora energy. It's like it gathers like a plethora of energy, but plethora not being dictionary definition. So often when we're receiving these words from non-physical and when we're receiving them energetically, they don't actually have the dictionary definition to them. A bit like the reel I shared this morning about Martha, which is the consciousness of our oceans. I received divulge, and I was like, shouldn't that be indulge? And they're like, no, it's divulge. It's a spiritual word, so it's got a different meaning behind it. It's got energy behind it. So anyway, plethora, don't think dictionary definition, but plethora energy gathers energy and almost funnels it through galaxy energy. So let me try and show you in this picture. This is a very, 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 very rough sketch. I'm hoping you can see it. In the middle, you can see Domain. The big circle around it is beyond, because Domain's located in beyond. Can you see how you don't have to be really technical? You just go with what you're being kind of shown in a very high level way, and it's enough. And then that energy that's being gathered through Domain, which is like acting like a gatherer of energy, flows it through galaxy energy towards Earth. And this is really, really interesting. So this was received on the 20th of September 2020. So I had put this in a presentation years ago, and I was guided to print it out this morning. So our galaxy energy, if you think that we are in a galaxy, and there's a lot more insight to be uncovered around galaxy energy at the right time, but it has to be kind of flowed through galaxy energy. But there's more to galaxy energy than what we currently understand. Even than what I know now. I'm always going to be shown new from Domain, but it's always going to take, and it will be the case for those of you that are working with Domain as well, it's going to introduce new things to you at the perfect pace for you. It's never going to bombard you and overwhelm you, but it's the galaxy energy that brings that to Earth. So plethora energy, this gathering of energy, and galaxy energy work together to bring new energies to Earth. And this is what's really exciting. So in the book, I've written about meta energy, which was an incredible energy I received one time whilst doing some healing, and other Domain leaders have since worked with and had phenomenal results with. The best way to describe meta energy is like, if you think of ultraviolet light, I always imagine it as in ultraviolet light in my head as kind of purple with a bit of a glow, like purpley white and a bit of a glow. Meta energy is like royal blue with a glow. And the first time I worked with it was the first time it had ever been used on Earth. And now I understand, because often you might have things with Domain and then you get more clarity a bit further down the line, because again, it doesn't want to bombard you. So bits continue to piece together. That energy was brought to Earth through plethora and galaxy energy. And that energy had been used elsewhere in the multiverse, but it had never been used on Earth before. And the first time we used it, we had phenomenal results with it. In that instance, we received it for someone that was in hospital, and I believe it didn't seem likely that they would get out, but actually then 2 days later they were out. And since then, their energy has been doing their incredible own things with meta energy, because again, they've been working with one of the Domain leaders, and their energy also became a Myriad hotspot, which again, we spoke about last week. So if you want to learn more about Myriad, go back and watch last week's episode. But basically, it just means you're a powerhouse with Domain when you become a Myriad hotspot as well. And so what we want to do is help many, many, many people around the world ignite Myriad hotspot energy, or attain Myriad hotspot energetic status is probably the correct term, but it does sound a bit technical, but that is actually what it is. So meta energy is incredible. And I was using it on my knee this week. So again, another example. And I was receiving the words, it's like miracle energy. And again, don't just think dictionary definition. This is going to have a whole energetic meaning behind it as well. But meta energy is phenomenal, and it can do so many things. And I was being shown almost meta energy kind of holding my knee in place as to where it needed to be. I know one of the Domain leaders had whiplash, and they used meta energy, and it kind of felt like they were in, I think chainmail is the right term, you know, like from, I'm trying to think, Tudor times when people would wear chainmail when they went into battle. Is that the right period? I'm not actually sure. But it was like that they saw or sensed meta energy working with them, and their whiplash just kind of disappeared. So it's a very, very powerful energy, and it's really, really beautiful. And again, we want to help you guys expand your energetic capacity, because each human has an energetic capacity, and we're talking about working with energetics. So don't just think physical stamina. We're talking about working with energetics. They have an energetic capacity that we want to keep growing, and that will naturally occur once you start working with domain as well. You will just keep growing and growing, so you'll always be able to do more and more and more. So some of the miraculous things so far that we've done with meta energy, and we shared a couple of examples on that again last week actually with the tooth extraction, this is just the start, and this is just one energy. If you think there's endless energies out there, and there's new energies being created all the time, I'm receiving now from domain, that domain's creating, because domain creates, and God uses domain to create, as we talk about in the book. So really, really fascinating. So it's wonderful. Again, just to think, with domain, you can get energetic sequencing and recreate things here, but you can also draw and gather energy through plethora and galaxy energy and introduce new energy to Earth. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's mind-blowingly beautiful. It could make me cry tears of love. It's just beautiful because we're just getting started. And that's why we're so thankful for each and every one of you that are here, that are interacting with us and watching what we're sharing. And you know, we're doing these longer weekly domain TV episodes, but we're sharing short reels, generally Monday to Friday, that are about 60 to 90 seconds long, just to give you little snippets, because there's so much to domain, but it's wondrous, and it's truly to be delighted in. It's just wonder at every step, like no glass ceiling. It's like endless possibility now for us humans and Earth. So it's beautiful, 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 beautiful. So that's our domain hone-in this week. So we've talked about energy sequences and how they can be received differently from person to person. We've told you a little bit about plethora energy and galaxy energy and how they help bring new energies to Earth. And meta was one of the first new energies that I experienced bringing to Earth, as in like I didn't bring it to Earth, domain brought it, but I experienced working with as a new energy on Earth when I was working with domain, literally only about 4 or 5 months ago, I think that was. So really, really, really beautiful. So what have we got coming up? So for those of you that don't know, but I think most of you do, we are sharing weekly emails on a Monday, and they have a lot of energy behind them. So they're actually email emits, which means we're emitting a lot of energy again, just to share some real good energy into your inbox on a Monday morning, because we send them out on a Monday morning UK time, and just to help you with your energetics with domain, because domain is for all. We want the whole world to know about it, which probably won't happen whilst I'm physically alive, but beyond my physical lifetime I know it will. But we can still spread the word to lots and lots of people now who are ready, and so many of you here are. In fact, all of you here are, is what I'm being told. That's why you are part of this page. So you can absolutely register to sign up for those. You just need to sign up to the domain newsletter, which is virtually on every page of the Sarah Morgan Global website, and Sarah Morgan Global is the home of domain energetics. So you can sign up to that. But also, as we spoke about in great detail last week, we've got our Domain Immersion live experience, our first program within the School of Domain Energetics, starting 2 weeks today. And boy, oh boy, it's going to be so good. So it is being run in a group format, but it's not going to be run in a group format where you feel lost in the group. Every single person that attends will gain so much in their own beautiful way and within their own beautiful right and their own beautiful truths for domain. So every single person that participates, you'll have your whole own journey and pool of goodness that's yours to take forward for the rest of your life, that will be different to what other people are getting. So it's not a kind of group program where you get lost in the group. We have capped numbers, obviously, to make sure we can respond to everybody and help everybody really deeply, because that's what we want. This program is designed to shave years off of your development with Domain, but have such a wide and diverse experience of it whilst you're doing it. So many different facets and things to explore, but also going at a really lovely pace. So it won't be like relentless, like go, 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 day, 31 days of November or 30 days of November, I think it is. It's been perfectly designed. So we run the focuses on a Monday and Tuesday, have a Wednesday break, Thursday and Friday, have the weekend break, and then do the same again Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, if I didn't say that correctly just now. So it's going to run for 4 weeks, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and the breaks in between, you can just live your best life and enjoy, but we'll be energizing a lot of energetics behind the scene to help your energy keep rapidly expanding and accelerating with Domain. So it's really, really beautiful. We have been guided as well that some of you might want to have a discovery call, a Domain discovery call with us, just to chat it through a little bit, because we want to make sure those early people that are working with Domain are very nurtured and getting exactly what they want and they need from the Domain Immersion Live experience. And so we will be sharing a link. I haven't had a chance to do it yet this morning, where you can book a clarity call. But if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I really feel the draw to this, like, it feels big, but I'm excited, just inbox me and let me know, and we can arrange a clarity call that way. But I will also share a link for clarity calls, hopefully today, if I get time, but if not, very soon. But don't let that hold you back. You can absolutely inbox me. But the Domain Immersion Live experience is like each person that attends will have their own kind of full immersion with Domain, and it will set them off, you off if you're joining, on your own lifetime of partnership with Domain, because Domain is here to be used in our day-to-day, whether we're using it for our physical form, for others that we love, in the workplace or in the family home, whether we're wanting to use it for the more global things that it can do, like bring water to Africa, prevent malaria, all those bigger things that some of you have aspirations around as well. It can be used for all things, but what you'll find is during that program, you will understand what you want to do with Domain, and you will almost like experience, I'm being told, like a package energy. It's very interesting. Thank you, Domain. You're almost like that whole month will kind of package you in the way that you want to work energetically with Domain from this point forward. And of course, you can always expand it, but each of you will come away almost like with your own energetic package, ready to just keep soaring with Domain beyond the program. So it's going to be very individual in that way, although it's a group format. You'll each kind of come away with that individual package of energetics, is what I'm being told. So it's really, really beautiful. And we didn't share that last week, because again, that's what I've received more on this week as well. So it will be a beautiful, beautiful month. We know that so many of you here are ready. We know that some of you are like watching what we're doing and being like, okay, Domain, this is new. This is different. We're just watching the reels. We're just having a feel. And we love that. Like, we love that. But some of you, as we approach the 1st of November, Friday the 1st of November, 2 weeks when it starts, are going to feel that you're ready. And so if you feel it, come join us, because we're only ever going to run this once, and it's going to be flipping epic. We love it. And it will be there'll be so much kind of close love energy within it. Like, this is what we want all of you to feel when you leave the program. It's like you've got your own energetic package and setup for however you want to use Domain moving forwards, and it will shave years of your experience, is what I keep being told by God. So he's really excited. I can literally see him smiling now. So it's going to be beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So that starts 2 weeks today. So if you want to have a chat with us about it, please don't hold back. So many of you know me, just reach out. Like, it's not scary. We love you, and we're here to demystify and make it simple, 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 but very useful and very powerful and wondrous, 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 wondrous. So what else did we want to share with you? I think that's pretty much it for this week's Domain TV episode. So we've shared some evidence, we've shared some new insight, we've shared with you what's going on, and we just wanted to say again, we just love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here, because it's such a beautiful thing introducing something that is brand new to Earth. And I saw a Steve Jobs quote a few days ago when I was doing a live in the Pathway to Thrive Facebook group, which anyone that does any work with us through the School of Domain Energetics, even if it's just one program, will be able to join that group. It's like the space where all that have been really energized with domain are gathering. It's beautiful. But I received one quote that he directed me to, saying, people think you're crazy until you're successful, and then they think you're a genius. And I was like, thanks, Steve, because we know what we're introducing is so new. And so for you guys that are actually sat here listening to this, we love you for it, because you have to start these things somewhere. And then as I was doing some work this morning, I saw another Steve Jobs quote. I wasn't even looking for it. This is how energy works. It brought it to me, saying it's something along the lines of, those that think they are crazy enough to change the world are often, or are actually, the ones that do. And this is what we are here, like not just me, everyone here that's a part of this community now, this family energy that is continuing to join us over the years to come. You know, we are visionary, but all you need for Domain is love, hope and belief. That's all you need, and everything is possible. And I'm getting goosebumps. I think for some of you that have followed my journey over the last few years, where I've spoken about being limitless, and wanting to be limitless and wanting to kind of move through glass ceilings. I guess that's where my energy's always been kind of seeking, because obviously that's what I chose to do in this physical life, is find my way here to Domain. And obviously it started with manifesting, as we know, and law of attraction for many of you. Then it went into awakening and evolving, which is important. You need to be high vibration to really work with energetics, and in that your energetic capabilities. And now here we are with Domain Energetics. And this is what we have made an eternal commitment to now. And we love it. Like every day we're creating reels. We love it. It's just such a privilege, and we just are so thankful that you guys are here, and we just love every single one of you so much. I just cannot say, you make it a joy for us to be here, so thank you. And for those of you that have stayed with myself over the last few years when there's been quite a lot of changes, thank you for staying around. Like, that could make me cry with love, actually. That could make me get quite emotional. Thank you for sticking with me, because I've had to go through lots of energetic growth myself to be able to bring Domain forward, and I know many of you have been through your own energetic growth as well, and some of you awakened with me and all that good stuff. So you guys are just awesome. So we love you. I think that's it for now. I think we've caught up with all the comments as well. Oh, hi Tina, my darling, and Emily, my darling. So lovely to see you guys here. I can't see everyone that's viewing, but some of you I'm getting notifications as you are tuning in. So it's so lovely to see you here if you are tuning in. And Bo, I'm stuttering a bit today, which I always do when I'm receiving a lot. Bo, Nita, darling, lovely to see you too. So lovely. So we will come live again, same time next week for episode 3. I don't know what we'll be speaking about next week because I haven't received it yet. But when I do, I so look forward to sharing it with you. We'll put a reminder here the day before. We'll give you a quick summary of what we're going to be talking about. And you can come and join us. And for anyone that wants to watch the kind of entire catalogue of episodes as we're building them, you can go to sarahmorganglobal.com/domain-tv. So over time, you'll get the whole back catalogue of episodes. But as we stand, this is episode 2. So thank you for being here. We love you. We're here. If you have any questions, just ask. We try to give as much information as we can, like we say, through the reels, through the book, through these sessions. But even as we say in this book serves as an introduction. You are likely going to have more questions, so come ask us. And in fact, those questions could help us shape some of the content for future Domain TV episodes as well. So don't be shy to ask. Ask us anything you want to ask us. And we want everybody to feel very free and able and happy to ask whatever it is that they want to ask, because this really it's a community, but it's a family energy community. So ask away, feel the love, feel hopefully that we are so approachable. We just want to help get the word out, because as I said before, I think on the last episode, but I've definitely said it to other people, if I didn't bring Domain forward, someone else would have. It needed to be spoken about because we're ready now as humans. So it's just I'm the one that chose to accept the challenge, if you like, not challenge, but accept the invitation to. Just ask us. We're here. We love you so much. Thank you again, and we will see you this time next week. 10 a.m. Friday for episode 3. We love you so, so, so much, and we will see you then. Mwah.